I'm Joanna Hildreth from the Northwest Georgia Republican Assembly. First off, we do want to thank you for agreeing to participate in our candidate interview. We feel discussions like this serve to create a more informed voting electorate, so we can make the best decision possible to elect the candidates that best represent our values. Also, due to the COVID-19 pandemic, we are respecting and obeying all CDC guidelines and practicing social distancing. Before we begin, you should know that each candidate for each office has received the exact same number of questions. We ask that you please keep answers to a reasonable time frame, using 2 to 3 minutes for each question. Give the answers that you want to. There is no right or wrong answer, just your answer. Let's begin. Would you please introduce yourself and state the office and district, if applicable, that you're running for?
I am Mickey Headrick, and I'm running for the 3rd District, Catoosa County Commissioner.
Okay, so let's start the questions. The cities of Ringgold and Fort Oglethorpe have been advised by the Georgia Municipal Association, which is a non-government agency, to severely restrict local business operations. Who is the County Commission taking advice from concerning COVID-19? Is it a department of the Georgia state government or a voluntary association that Catoosa is a part of?
I'm not sure.
Do you agree with the approach that Governor Kemp has taken?
In some places in Georgia, I would, like Atlanta, and some, where there's a lot of people together. But for people like me that do outside work, I don't see no reason to be, shut down for it.
What is the proper role of county government?
I'm learning that. I'm not really sure. I don't know a whole lot about county government. I know about what the Constitution teaches, and that we should have freedom, liberty, and tranquility. And I don't think so much we have that by what has happened to me lately, last summer.
What are your top 2 priorities as county commissioner?
Just as be as to help the people of Catoosa County, basically. Take a look at our roads are the main thing that most county people use every day, is our roads. I just take a look at the roads where I live, up Ringo Road. I mean, there's a lot can be done there. In these subdivisions where I work, and the pavement's breaking up, and it's not been sealed, hadn't been taken care of. I wonder why we don't have money to do those things. When I was a young man, we had road commissioners, and it seemed like in Catoosa County the roads were in good shape, always, no problems, but not nowadays. And I'll say this, we're not pushed for time. Ringo Road, we got 3 deer crossings up there, and there's been accidents every year, 2 or 3 accidents a year, just because of the deer. No signs up to warn the people that deer are there in the area, and I wonder why. I mean, how hard would it be to put up a sign for there's a deer crossing? Things like that, just simple things, common sense things, for people.
Could you educate the citizens that watch this interview about how you plan to cut spending, lower taxes, and shrink the role of county government in proportion to the drastic fall in economic revenue that is likely going to occur?
Well, I think it comes back down to common sense again. Things we need, we should have, and the things that we don't need, or that we can do without, then we can set aside so we do the most important things. I mean, this is all new to me. This is the first time I ever run for office, and I've never even been to a commissioner's meeting. But I feel like it's just my patriotic duty to step up and say, if our government's not constitutional, then the Declaration of Independence says that we should alter or abolish it. So I'm just stepping up, and if it happens to be that I get elected, then I'll do my part to make sure that our Constitution's held up and people's not taken advantage of, like it's what has happened to me recently.
Will you pledge here on video that you will never raise Catoosa County citizens' taxes via millage rate increase, use of local option sales taxes, or increased spending?
I will pledge to do as much as I possibly can with the power that they give me to make sure that our government is constitutional. It won't take away people's freedom, it won't take away their liberty, and it won't take away their peace of mind and the way they live. As far as taxes, sometimes I think probably there is a time that we do need to maybe, like we're talking about the roads, if it takes people giving a little extra to get our roads fixed, to protect our children, protect our people that travel up and down the roads, I'd consider it. But as far as making a pledge that I wouldn't do that, I can't honestly say yay or nay.
What would be a proactive way to manage the budget anticipating a severe economic downturn?
Say that again, please.
What would be a proactive way to manage the budget anticipating a severe economic downturn?
Like we're having. That's above me. That's above my. I mean, you'd have to know exactly what's going on. I don't know what's going on. I just really don't know what to say about that. To be honest about it.
Can you pledge here on camera that you will find ways to cut each department by a modest 5% or an even bolder 10%?
If it's what I know about government, if most of the time when they make cuts, it really does make a difference. I mean, as far as the government's better and the people's better. So if it's possible, then I'd have to take a look at it and consider it.
How often would you meet with department heads to see if current projects are successful or are revenue neutral, or to find out if they are costing citizens more than initially projected?
That'd be something that I'd probably be available for constantly, really. I mean, whatever it takes.
Can you pledge here on camera that you will never vote to propose another T-SPLOST referendum? No ifs, ands, or buts about it?
Well, I voted against it last time, and every dollar I'll be accountable for. I don't know if it is. I don't know how much, if they allot so much money for District 3 and the other districts. I don't really know about that, but I'm curious to learn about it, you know.
As commissioner, will you vote to return public meetings to previous policy that allowed spontaneous appearances from concerned citizens?
Yes. You mean freedom of speech? Yes, absolutely. That's part of our Constitution.
To what degree do you feel your county is a ward of the state, that it could not exist without the aid of taxpayers in other counties? Or another way of putting the previous question, with the current situations in mind, if the county was required to support itself without the help of taxpayers in other counties and states, could it do it?
I'm not sure. I don't know how much, well, I was talking to my brother-in-law the other day, and he lives in a Meta subdivision. They they need several roads paved up there. And they were talking like, if, you know, one candidate said, if you'll vote for me, we'll see that these get paved. So, I'm not sure how that works, to be honest about it.
Are economic development investments, such as working with the Chamber of Commerce, maintaining dues with Senator Mullis's regional authority, or the creation of a new economic development department, paying off for the citizens who fund them?
Say that again, please.
Okay. Are economic development investments, such as working with the Chamber of Commerce, maintaining dues with Senator Mullis's regional authority, or the creation of a new economic development department, paying off for the citizens who fund them? And could you please share some examples of businesses that have emerged due to any of these economic development partnerships, that you feel would provide jobs that pay a living wage or more than household wages?
That's a that's a good question. As far as, because that's above my head as far as how the development is in Catoosa County. I really don't know. But I've heard talk about is it a hospital or some kind of a care they're going to build? They want to build for people that have drug problems. Now that'd be something that I'd be interested in, as far as helping see that it gets done. I think that'd be a help to the county.
A lot of citizens want to know how we arrived at a place where roads were so underfunded for so long that we had to opt for another sales tax. Do we have enough money through lost, splost, and general revenue to fund road construction for the next 5 years?
I don't see why we don't. I'm wondering why our roads are in the shape they're in right now. As far as I don't see no work going on. I'm wondering where the money's going to. That's the reason I said a while ago, I don't know how much money, if they allot the district that I live in any money, we ought to get every dime we got coming and put it to good use. And putting first things first, the most important things first, and everything else can fall after that, the way I see it. That's just the way it is, basic life. You was talking a little while ago about where we're living at now. How would we keep this county going? Well, you just have to put the most important things first and take it from there.
What percentage of the county budget is used on the betterment of the county's roads? Are roads a priority? If not, why?
Well, I don't know that. I'm not a commissioner. I don't know how much percentage they allow for the roads. But that's just something I have to learn as I go, I guess. And just try to use common sense. Well, all these questions you're asking me, I'm probably, if they were asked a different way, I might be able to give a better answer. But it's a job that you just have to learn, I guess. And I mean, I've heard tales about what goes on down there, and I don't know about that they have their meetings and then they go make their decisions out, not in the public, out of the public. So I mean, it shouldn't be that way. Now, I don't know if it's true or not, but that's what I've heard.
Okay, this is our last question.
Okay.
Will you pledge to propose an ordinance that makes Catoosa County a sanctuary for the Second Amendment and serves to safeguard our citizens from unconstitutional gun ownership restrictions?
Yes.
Okay, so now if you'd like to take a few minutes and...
Now you're talking about for our rights to bear arms on that. Okay, see, that's what I mean. If you got to talk a little plainer to me, because I'm just an old country boy. But yes, I believe anything that takes away from our Constitution, I'm against. And I will pledge to the people of Catoosa County is any power that I have to support our Constitution, our freedom, our liberty, our rights, then that's what I'll do.
Okay, thank you. And now you can take a few minutes and wrap it up however you'd like to.
Well, I was born and raised here in Catoosa County on the same land my daddy was born and raised on. And I felt like, matter of fact, when I was going down to qualify, I just kind of got, nervous and sick at my stomach, thinking I didn't know what I was doing right there. But when I got there and I went ahead and said, yeah, I want to qualify, I had sweet peace about it. And I don't know what the outcome will be, but I want to get my message out that we need to uphold. If we got a government that don't take care of the people, how's it go? A government by the people and for the people to serve the people. Our government, I'm thinking in Catoosa County, thinks we serve them. They're supposed to serve us and to protect us, to support us, to encourage us, to respect us. And some of the things that happened to me lately, dealing with county agents, it hadn't been that way. And that's one of the reasons I'm sitting here in this chair right now, trying to convince myself I'm doing the right thing, you know, and I believe I am. And if I get elected, then I'll do just like I say I'll do. I'll protect our Constitution. Freedom of speech, right to bear arms, the right to own property, and no man can take it away from you. And Catoosa County's got some, I think, some county ordinances and some laws that need to be changed. And good Lord willing, if I like to tell the people, if they vote for me, they'll be voting for themselves. And I appreciate it.
Okay, well, thank you very much for your participation in this.
Okay. I wished I had a copy of those questions where I could understand